Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to American Truck Simulator, and also welcome to part 3 of the 2025 longest delivery in American Truck Simulator series, where in today's video we're continuing our journey from just outside of Durango in Colorado, just west of the city itself, and we're going to head up all the way up through Utah today and into Idaho, finishing off today's leg at a service center just north of Twin Falls. And today's delivery is another long one covering 600 miles on the dot in just under 11 hours in game time. So without further ado, let's get this Freightliner Cascadia started up on this rainy Colorado morning and get on the road. All right, it is time to pull out of here and let's get our wipers going. In this 5th gen Cascadia, it is raining fairly hard actually here in Colorado, as I mentioned, just west of Durango here. It's going to be a wonderful delivery. Well, actually, I should say leg. I'm so used to muscle memory, or I guess vocal memory, used to saying delivery, but in fact, well, yes, we're in one major delivery here across multiple episodes. I must say once again, a huge thank you to everyone who is supporting this long haul series. Incredible to see the interaction. I am so happy to see that everyone is happy with the series so far, and I appreciate all the kind comments and also the comments on things to talk about and different discussions along with that, and commenting on what I've also said in the videos. It's fantastic to see the community all engaged with it, and I'm happy to say that these long hauls will continue. Maybe not the longest possible in the game, but they will definitely be more frequent here, I will say that. Longer hauls per se than just the standard ATS showcase delivery lengths, or more common showcase lengths, as I should say. Now, of course, I want to clarify, annually we will be doing this longest delivery series, shall I say, mini-series within a series, as complicated as that may be, just as the map grows. And something that we're going to talk about today, and what I talked about in last episode is an extension of it, that being, we're going to be talking about my thoughts on the American Truck Simulator map here in the USA. What is coming next in my view, and what else can we expect to see in due course here in American Truck Simulator, and just the whole landscape itself. We're actually going to try and get out here, kind of cut in line here. There's lots of traffic here. We want to get on the road as we do have many miles to cover. So let's talk about this. Last episode, for those who may not have watched it, check it out in the cards above, give you some context to what I'm talking about today. However, in a quick summary, as that video is about an hour, in that video, the primary topic I talked about was my thoughts and just general 2 cents on the American Truck Simulator map, specifically expansion outside of the USA, that being into Canada, into Mexico, and potentially even South America as well. And it was very interesting to see, and we got to go into another way station here, friends. Add it to the counter. Oh, you gotta love it. Anyways, in that episode, I talked about more of the extension outside of the American Truck Simulator map. However, I want to talk about today what I think about here in American Truck Simulator itself in the USA. The 100% guaranteed, I'm going to say it right now, map expansions, albeit in the case of, say, expansion into Canada, that's also pretty much a given language coming out of SES Software's camp, the developer, that being, and of course just some other hints and teasers and so on to go along with it. And my word, this light rotation, did it just let one vehicle through in the last light rotation? I sure hope not, because if so, this is going to be a very long light in wait, but that's okay, that's fine. right, so as we pull into the way station here, I just want to lay down a few, shall I say, basics or the ground rules for, well, really what's going to be talked about with the states and my thoughts moving forward here. So first of all, let's just mention this. As of right now, we have 3 confirmed DLCs for American Truck Simulator that are in development. Those are Louisiana, Illinois, and South Dakota. Moving forward then, everything I talk about in this video, of course, and what we're going to talk about here in just a few moments' time, keep that in mind. Those are the 3 confirmed, and really, to be honest, some of the different areas of possible expansion moving forward. So let's start on the southern side, down by Louisiana. Obviously Louisiana, then Illinois, and then South Dakota from any of the knowledge that I have, and of course kind of the release order that those states were confirmed. That is what we can expect to see in terms of a release order for those 3 states: Louisiana, Illinois, and then South Dakota. Now, there's a few different routes here across American Truck Simulator, or across the US map, I should say, that American Truck Simulator can follow. That's where my brain is wanting to go with that phrasing. Down in Louisiana, obviously being on the southern coast, as I hit that truck because I'm Prime Simulation and I hit the barrier as well. What a fantastic start to this long haul series, and that one is a classic Prime Simulation blunder. That's not even on the AI, unlike the last episodes. Oh, it's been a long day, my friends, and I'm doing a long haul, which this could get very comedic very quickly. So let's buckle in here and hope for the best on multiple fronts. There are many ways that the American Truck Simulator map can expand, and different routes, no pun intended, that can be taken across the USA in terms of expansion. So, for the 5th time in me saying this, starting down in Louisiana, my first impression is that, or what maybe I would like to see, and I think many of you would agree, I would be okay if, when it's all said and done, we move, once Louisiana, Illinois, and South Dakota are released. Some may not like this, but I'm going to say it. I would be perfectly happy if STS Software decided to completely beeline it across the southern coast of the US, going through Mississippi, going into Georgia and Alabama. Well, I guess Mississippi, Alabama, then Georgia, and then hitting Florida. That, my friends, would be my ideal kind of beeline. Go directly east. Here's my reasoning for that. I would love to get a little bit sooner the ability for us to go coast to coast. I think that would be really, really cool. Not to mention, obviously, the very unique landscape and architecture that comes across in that region, and honestly differs as you go across the region. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of you can agree, but comment down below what your thoughts on that are. That would be kind of like my ideal, let's get the map really rolling here, get across to the coast, be able to do that, and then work north from there. Kind of set a bottom line, almost set basically well, quite literally the bottom limit, and then just start filling in northern from there. Now, another way that could happen, and I'm going to be honest once again and say that this is probably more likely, the northern section of the current ATS map, or kind of the more north central section of the USA, I feel like that is going to be filled in now. Obviously, SES Software has done a number of pushes to the east, and specifically with Illinois, a little bit of an outlier on where it goes in terms of order. I think what's more likely to happen now is that after South Dakota, the third of the confirmed DLCs currently, I think it's safe to say that North Dakota will then be confirmed afterwards. I think that into Minnesota and possibly even Wisconsin, and just finish off that more quote-unquote northern section, the northeastern section of the current ATS map. I think that is a strong possibility on where SES Software is going with it. But then, at the same point, we could get a little bit of a mix of, well, everything, to be honest, and have basically, shall I say, a three-frontal attack in terms of the direction that the map DLCs are going, and moreover, a alternating approach to the different regions that get an expansion, that being south, more central, and then northern. I think what's more likely is that we potentially could see, you know, into Tennessee, that area get a little bit of an expansion sooner than later as well. It's a hard thing to say, and honestly, to be honest with you, I can't say obviously which way SES Software is going. I have no idea where they're going with it. It's just that everything I say is my 2 cents and what I think could be coming. And again, feel free to comment below what your thoughts are. In summary, I think my ideal in terms of just getting across somewhere would be just beeline across the south. Get to Florida. I'd love to see some of the different industries over there, and of course just being able to get a clear line coast to coast. I think that would be huge for the game. The more, well, currently more sensible approach, given just looking at the ATS map, the northern section needs a little bit of fill-in. It has been, well, kind of put out a sequence a little bit because of Illinois. Again, SES Software is trying to finish off Route 66, Project Road Trip, a bunch of different features coming in with that Illinois is the reasoning for, or Route 66 is the primary reason for Illinois from all of my knowledge or understanding. So it's just one of those things where I think the northern areas, again, North Dakota, Minnesota, and with possibly even Wisconsin, will come sooner than later. But again, that central section as well. Tennessee, that would push us pretty far east as well because of the shape of the state itself. It's honestly an intriguing question, and SES Software could go fairly anywhere. And to be honest, as I said before, I'll say it once again in this long summary as these videos typically have, I honestly believe it's going to be realistically a little bit of both. SES Software is probably going to continue pushing a little bit on the south, try and fill in a little bit more in the northern areas, but move somewhere central as well, kind of putting the jigsaw pieces together. I think realistically that's what the current trend of the ATS map expansion has been to date. In another way to look at it, if you're looking at the map of the USA, think of the different state columns, shall I say. North to south, put a ruler over it. Generally speaking, SES Software has been moving over one column and then filling up, or moving over one column and then filling up the entire column itself. So one row over, column filled. That's generally what's been happening. Not saying that it's gone perfectly like that, and especially as we continue moving east, those grids don't really line up at all. So it doesn't really work like that. Again, one of those things where we're just gonna have to wait and see. And the hole in the rock, funny, cool. It's one of those things where, again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I don't really know. I honestly don't know, but I have a feeling it's going to be a little mix of everything to keep a little bit of change as well, so it's not just filling in one area with similar landscape as well. We get a little bit of diversification. I think that honestly is a good approach. I'm not going to complain. Any new map DLC is great in my eyes, but I think having a little bit of a blend of all worlds and different landscapes again, I think that's a good shout for what is potentially to come. Now we have discovered Moab. I could have sworn I've been here before, but maybe, I guess not. Maybe not in this save. I don't know. Camper! Oh my word. I thought he was going straight across, or at least into my lane more. Oh, the AI. First, I hit him early on in the video, like not even a few minutes in, just because classic Prime Simulation moment. And then another one pulls out in front of me. I mean, I can't win. I really can't win. And as some of you have rightfully pointed out, I may genuinely need therapy after this series is done with dealing with the AI. Because, well, to say that it's stressful or infuriating at times is a bit of an understatement, my friends. A bit of an understatement. So with all that, well, classic Prime Simulation, a little bit of a ranty rumble, or rumble. I guess my voice sometimes rumbles as well, depending on how low I go. I don't know why I make myself laugh like that, but that's okay. I've got to keep myself occupied along with you. Even though some of these rants can go on a little bit or whatever, and my whole explanation on what's potentially coming next, because really it's a complete open book. Let's look way into the future. Even farther than, well, the few states that I've talked about and the potential options for moving forward. I'm mainly talking about state bundles. Not meaning sale bundles or anything like that in the Steam store page for American Truck Simulator. I am talking straight up bundled states, one DLC. That being, let's take New England as an example. I sure hope by the time we hit the Northeast, we are getting a New England... I gotta go a little bit slower around this corner. Lots of roll on the truck. I sure hope we get a New England DLC. I am just saying that right now. Because, so help me if I have to buy every individual DLC, well, every individual state up, up in New England, I think many ATS players would not be pleased, and that is indeed an understatement. Imagine having to purchase, and this may age terribly by the way, imagine having to purchase an individual Rhode Island DLC. Just throwing it out there. Pretty much any of the northeastern states get small enough that, I mean, we are already talking about North and South Dakota. Why in the world are they not put together? Just make the Dakotas DLC. I feel like for the amount of major cities in those two regions, that would have worked just fine. And I think a lot of the community would have been very happy. Imagine if you had to purchase Rhode Island, Maryland, just to name a few. I just feel like that would be, if people didn't riot, straight up riot, I don't know what would happen. I don't know what else would happen if that was the case, because I'm gonna be honest with you, unless if it was only a couple dollars, I don't think I'd even buy it. Like, if you look at the whole grand scheme of American Truck Simulator, unless if you're just trying to get every single DLC, if they continue the trend of individual state by state, in some of the New England states, or at very least northeastern states, or even just eastern states for that matter, I probably wouldn't bother with a few of them. I just wouldn't. Unless if there was a very specific industry, I wouldn't buy them. Now, to be honest with you, I would probably, like, all right, so let's put it this way. If it was like that, individual state by state, meaning Prime, if I was doing this on my own time, I would never, or most likely not, unless if I lived there, I would not buy individual states in northeastern section, for the most part. Now, as I am Prime Simulation, and I make content for you, I would still be buying those DLCs regardless. Would I buy them reluctantly? In some ways, yes. I'm going to be honest right now, and that's the way it is. It's kind of cold hard truth. I buy them because I know people want to see it, potentially see why it's worth whatever dollar amount it could be for especially something like Rhode Island. Yeah, that I have a feeling that will never come to fruition. I have a feeling it will be some form of, we'll start to get basically what happens in ATS 2, where there's, generally speaking, like the Scandinavia DLC has multiple countries in it. I have a feeling we'll start to get them here in American Truck Simulator, which will be fantastic. But worst comes to worst, individual DLCs, I think it would be hard pressed for me to recommend to you to purchase the DLC with your own money. Because also keep in mind, yes, if I had to buy them, I would as Prime Simulation. As just Prime, on regular time, probably not. Probably not at all. Unless if there was some absolutely compelling way or something of value within that DLC that said, oh, I have to have that. For the sheer size of the DLC, I don't think it'd be worth it. Nor for the frequency of actually going back there. Unless you are from, say, Rhode Island, Maryland, whatever the northeastern state may be, if it were individual and quite small. That is completely up to you, and you may have a different opinion on this than me. But I'm just saying in general. As we move forward, I sure hope, and STS Software, if you're out there and you're not planning this already, please take this into consideration. I think it's only fair for those who have purchased every single state leading up to some of the, let's say, northeastern states that are quite small, generally. I think it is only fair on those individuals and the dedicated community members that have put out a whole lot of money up until this point to start getting some bundles. Bundles of multiple states in one singular DLC released at the same time. Say what you want. I think it's, at the end of the day, it just needs to come down to what's fair on the community. And I don't think releasing individual states is a sustainable way to do it for too much longer for many people. A lot of the community is extremely dedicated and will buy pretty much anything that the game puts out. And all credit to STS Software, a lot of free content does get released for ATS, ETS2 religiously through the various significant updates that happen. But again, especially here in ATS, the state-by-state nature of these DLC launches, I think a lot of people are starting to say, well, hopefully there's something of significant value, or there's a lot of different cities, lots of different towns, or different roads, or different industries that come in, and you gotta hope that there's that value, because if not, I'm just gonna have to wait till it comes on sale. I'm not picking it up for months on end before it starts to go on some form of significant discount, because, well, what actual value does it get? I've seen many people comment on even a DLC like Iowa, which I do believe is a very good state. Very high quality, still, well, with the newest DLC, and still it's incredible quality throughout it. There's different industries, really unique things within it. But again, I've seen a lot of people, as excited as the crowd was, there's some people saying, well, I'm going to have to wait for it to come on sale, because at the end of the day, it's probably going to be a drive-through state, as many states realistically are, or will be as the map continues. and just gonna have to wait on sale. And that's personal opinion. That's perfectly fine. But I can see that that trend could continue. I can 100% see it. That trend will just continue as the states get smaller if it continues on the state-by-state nature. So again, moving forward, as we start to fill out the American Truck Simulator map, what do I want to see? I want to see state bundles. I think a lot of you would agree. It's just the most realistic way to continue and ultimately finish off the United States section of American Truck Simulator. I just don't see it being any other way personally. But this all could be, this whole, well, little bit of a podcasty rant could all just go up in flames in a few years' time, or many years' times, probably at this point, when we are hitting the northeastern section and there is still individual DLCs being released, and the whole thing is talking about, can't believe we're paying X amount of money for this state when we got Texas for this. Yeah, things change over time. Dollar value changes. We all know that, especially in how things are going economically across the world right now in uncertainty. But I don't think the sheer size of Texas and it being the most expensive DLC to date, as far as I recall, the sheer size of it versus, say, well, even, I don't know, let's just say even Vermont, like any of really the remaining states, if you're paying the same price for Texas as you are New York State, Vermont, anything like that, I don't know. Again, this could age really badly, but I feel like that's kind of starting to get a little into rip-off territory, unless if there is something of extreme value. We'll have to see. We will have to see, my friends. It's the only way about it. I obviously can't predict what's going to come up. I sure wish I could. But the U.S. states is honestly a big question mark. There's so many different ways that they could fill in, so many different preferred ways by community members. Comment down below what you think, and I think I'll leave it at that. So we're making pretty decent time, I would say, so far in today's leg of the delivery. Just past 1 o'clock in-game time. And actually, I've got to get to the right lane because I will be... is he... Oh, there's a red light here. So we're going to just try and go in behind. Oh, I did not prep this very well. Sorry, folks. Causing a traffic jam. Let's just pull forward a little bit more, but it's okay. People... See, I would be infuriated if I was behind a truck that did this in real life. But for the pain and agony, both, well, emotionally primarily, that the AI has put me through, I think I deserve a little bit of payback. So they can sit there and grumble all they want about what I've done here in this maneuver and how unrealistic it is. And honestly, you can do it as well. But I'm going to sit here out of my own, well, just a little bit of sympathy for myself and just a little bit of revenge, because sweet, sweet revenge generally isn't sweet, but today it sure is on the AI. First I run into them, now I block them. I think I'm back onto more even terms with them for now, until another AI decides to do something incredibly out there, which is a great possibility. It is the AI after all. They're artificial, that's for sure, but they are not intelligent by any means. We are heading towards Salt Lake City. We are heading north, so we're going to take this exit here, get my foot unstuck from my accelerator pedal. There we go, as we just barely make the corner. You gotta love it. sometimes I, well, just little quick side note here. My G29 pedals sometimes, just sometimes get caught on, you know, socks or shoes, whatever. It's the top edge of it just gets stuck in the tread. It is what it is. I do wear, you know, it depends on, I guess, depends on what I feel like, honestly, in the sim rig, but I generally have something, kind of, I never run barefoot because they're metal pedals, kind of uncomfortable, to be honest. Always have something on my feet. Sometimes they get caught. Not saying that that's an excuse for half of my crashes, because it's not, but some of them have actually, in the past, been genuinely stuck. My foot has gotten caught, and I tried to switch over, and it didn't work. You live and you learn, friends. You live and you learn. Sometimes the problem... I mean, honestly, I should, at some point, invert my pedals. That being, put them more realistic in how most vehicles have them anchored, more towards the top, not the bottom. The problem is the way they are currently. You push down, sometimes you'll get, as I said, top lip will get stuck in, like, say, tread of a shoe or whatever, and try to pop your foot up and it gets caught. Friction is lovely and you need it, but at many times it can be annoying, and this is one of those cases, but that's okay. That's a little side note, little tiny little thing. I could just pick my foot up more, but I'm sitting in a simulator. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm not lazy like that. Not saying that it's a bad thing or anything like that, but it is a relaxing thing to do. We're going to change subject because I'm just going to dig myself a massive hole, so that's okay. And because this is, well, the internet, I'm just going to be careful with this. We're going to get over here, so then we're running in the middle lane. So then people going on and off, the AI that being, don't hopefully smash into me or decide to brake when they change lanes like that car did. They hit the brake and then move over for whatever odd reason it may be. I really just don't feel like having to deal with that, and we're moving along well anyway, so we're going to take advantage of that. Now, I must say the one really nice thing about these long haul series, besides, well, the long haul itself and being able to talk to you and honestly ramble on about a bunch of things longer than a standard ATS showcase, is that we're really getting to see the transitions between the different aged states. And specifically the states or regions that have had little bits of rework or are just brand new versus the ones that are not. And, well, we're running through here in Utah, obviously slightly older now. Kind of surprising, because I remember when the Utah DLC released. It's getting older now, and honestly going from Texas and up through, you really start to see that difference. And obviously New Mexico was a big one. That's going to be hitting a rework soon, I can only assume. Parts of Route 66, obviously, that route will be done with the Route 66 rework project that is being worked on right now by SES Software. But it really is just that situation of amazing how time flies and how the quality truly has improved. It surprises me every time to see where American Truck Simulator has come from and where it's going to. Obviously, we don't know specifically where it's going to, but in terms of quality, it's pretty insane to see. If you would have told me back in 2016, into 2017, that, you know, well, one, I'd be doing this, and two, having American Truck Simulator, the quality that it is, with the lighting system that it is, the continual evolution of the engine and some of the graphic settings and so on, I probably would have called you a little crazy. And do I have to come in again? I do, so we gotta get all the way over here. Get it all the way over and hit the brakes. Go behind this truck. Oh my word. A beautiful maneuver, as that may be. Oh yes, port of entry. Classic. I guess we're going to be heading out of Utah very soon. Which makes sense. Let's see. Make sure I get the green light on my little advisor. That's what I like to see. W pass. Okay, now I gotta try and get out of here, and most trucks are just bypassing. Okay, well, that's, I guess, the way it is. Interesting. Actually, can one of you real-life truckers, or at least for those who may actually be more aware of this than I am, I want to know what are the rules and regulations about, you know, having to just bypass the way station, getting off the highway like that, or does that actually just not happen? If you're allowed to bypass a way station, can you just stay on the highway? Or do you have to actually pull through and go through kind of like the roll-through lane or whatever that some of the way stations have? Obviously, if you get called into a way station, that's normal. But I'd like to know your perspective on it, and also what are some of the rules that you encounter on the road when it comes to bypass versus actually full-stop inspection. Or at least wait. I guess there's a few different versions of that, isn't there? There's just straight up bypass, and then there's way, and then there's vehicle inspections as well. So feel free to comment below if you wish. I'd honestly be intrigued just to see your perspective on it, more than just, you know, looking it up on the internet. I want to see some real life examples, and, well, for that matter, real life experiences, if you don't mind. That would be fantastic to see and read. I love learning. I am not perfect, and you can tell that by the pronunciation of half of the things I say in my videos, or just the information and general recall of things. I'm not perfect, and I'm never going to try to be, but I always love to hear the real life, well, stories or different opinions and different experiences that many of you have. We all come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, and different careers and so on. However, we have a common thing here. Specifically, those watching this video, you love American Truck Simulator, or you at least like it, and you must somewhat put up with my commentary and my channel as well. So in that, I thank you. But we have that in common. In the same time, it's really interesting to kind of see some of the extra information and different points of view on various topics. I love to see it. That's what makes a community strong. Having a bunch of people from different walks of life coming together in a shared interest or region. Obviously for us, this community is revolving around American Truck Simulator and other simulation games alike, primarily trucking or other driving ones. That's a really cool bit. And moving forward, obviously I've talked about it before in other episodes, and I'll continue to talk about it, and especially once things fully release. There's more things coming for the community, more things that are just going to heighten the engagement, heighten the ability for everyone to interact, and also just bring the community closer in terms of, well, many areas. Just that's my goal. And we're going into Idaho. How fun. That's my goal at the end of the day. Obviously, I enjoy doing all of the content creation. I play American Truck Simulator because I love the game. I play Euro Truck Simulator 2 because I love the game. I play other simulation games because I love simulation gaming. I love creating content for you. Part of it is for, you know, I love entertaining people. I love being able to share information and share what I love doing with you, and obviously you all enjoy what I do as well. But creating this community, this really online family, is a big part. And I thank you for everyone who has been devoted to it thus far, and hopefully we'll see it through in many years to come as the community continues to grow and expand. I know a lot of you are quite devoted and have been devoted for many years now through various ups and downs. various days, like even today. Don't think my commentary is as strong today, but that's okay. That's also just that's just me being self-critical as well. It happens. It's also been a long day. You know what? That's a consequence of being a part-time content creator. Things happen in real life or outside of it that you just have to go with it. But I still want to make sure this content goes out and be authentic as possible. Does it mean that some things suffer? Yeah. Most of the time it's by commentary because that's what takes the most brain power. But I still enjoy doing it. And it's a nice distraction as well. So as long as I'm not, overly sick or, I can at least form words semi-decently in that day without just getting frustrated at myself, I'm probably going to make a video because it truly is enjoyable. And another one for the tally, friends. Way station number whatever. Oh my word. For those watching eventually in the full movie, shall I say, of the long haul series for 2025, have fun keeping track of all the way stations, or for those watching the original release of this video, have fun. Have fun, because it's they're starting to add up quick, friends. I guess it makes sense. Every new state we go at very least into, we're gonna get a way station, if not go a few times in it, because classic American Truck Simulator logic. I feel like once per state. Again, maybe add that to the comment on the whole way station bypass versus not thing. Passing between states, that makes sense, right? Most states going into a state, you'd have to weigh your truck. That to me just makes logistical sense in terms of state maintenance and so on roads and wear and all that good stuff. I feel like multiple times in the state, though, I don't know. I guess it just, to me, it seems excessive, but if it's not based off of the license plate of the truck and it's just based off of trucks that roll by, or if it's not based off of a transponder or anything, I understand why it would happen multiple times, because there is no guarantee that, every truck is rolling through the state in entirety. So they want to make sure that they're catching people at various points in the logistics network. But still, I just feel like, especially here in American Truck Simulator, you can really hit the way stations a lot within the state. Maybe that's realistic, maybe it's not. Again, comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts. Now we are getting very close. I could just tell by the clock on our dash that that was a weird zoom in. Apologize. There we go. About 5:30 in-game time. We are getting very, very close to the rest station for tonight. It's been another lovely day to drive across here in American Truck Simulator, covering quite a bit of ground. And at least we know that we could probably do 1,200 kilometers in this Freightliner Cascadia 5th Gen on a single tank of diesel, given that most of the deliveries we've been doing recently, or at least this episode and last episode, have been about the 600 mile mark, and we chew through about half a tank of fuel, maybe just a little bit more. So anywhere 1,100 miles, that would be probably what's capable of doing. But for me, I am always going to err on the side of caution, specifically with these videos, and just refuel every time we show up at the rest station if it's available, and go from there. I'd rather not take the chance with running out of fuel, or if we have a detour, having to, well, take the detour and then hopefully have a gas station along the way. I'd rather not risk it, so we're going to just always err on the side of caution. Plus, we're pulling into these facilities anyways. We might as well just refuel to save ourselves the little bit of a hassle. Just make sure the guarantee is there. Now, I know, of course, all these extra little charges, well, little smaller charges, shall I say, on the card. I don't know. Maybe better, maybe not. I guess it really doesn't matter. It all adds up to the same, other than prices of fuel between the different states. I guess maybe if you knew what the fuel prices were across the different states and you wanted to try and get smart with it, you maybe skip over a state if you're able to and refuel in another state where it's cheaper. Here in American Truck Simulator, unfortunately, I can't look ahead at the different fuel prices, and I think they're fairly consistent, actually, across the board. So that's what we're going with. It's just kind of continual refueling, which honestly I think just works out for the better. So let's go ahead and pull onto the access road. An actual road or just access road for the fuel station? Oh, it looks like an actual... maybe it's just an access road? Yeah, it's just an access road. Loops around this facility. Yeah. Alright, well, let's pull in here to the gas station. Choose a point. We'll go here. We'll shut off the truck. And let's see. Let's chat. Come on, Prime. You've been playing this game for how long? You know which button to hit. Let's see how much fuel we have used today. Starting from a full tank and going through, we have used 94 gallons. So a little bit less than previous episode. Makes sense considering we went less distance. So let's go ahead and pull ahead and we'll choose a spot to park the truck. There we go. Again, long day, friends. My voice is starting to give up on me in terms of just being able to speak, and my brain is also starting to say, yeah, Prime, you're done talking, bud, and thinking about what you're gonna say, because you're starting to combine random words together just because. But you know what, I will take that any day. Thank you all so much for watching part 3 of the longest delivery and American Truck Simulator series for 2025. Great to have another episode under our belt. Part 4 and part 5 are still coming right up very, very soon, so keep an eye out here on the channel for those episodes to come and other content as well that will be coming out soon as well. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.